And welcome back to part 17 of Celeste, where this time we're tackling the B-side of the core, the final B-side of the game, with the Say Goodbye mixed by Matthew. To get access to this level, it has an extra requirement of you have to beat every single other B-side and find all the hidden hearts in the A-side, or like the main adventure. You'd think by following this rule that this would make this the hardest B-side. It's not. If you've beaten Reflections and the Summit, this is easier than both of them. Not that it will look like that when you look at some of these obstacles, but trust me, you'll get the feel of them and overcome them a lot quicker than you will do anything the Summit or Reflections has thrown at you. The same, oddly enough, applies to the Seaside as well. Because the Seasides are an even extra step, they're even harder, which is why I'm not going to do them, because it'll be frustrating to do them all again. I've already done them once, I'm not doing them again recording, it's just not happening anytime soon. But the Seaside version of Reflections and the Seaside version of the Summit take forever. They're so bloody hard. They're fun, but they're hard. Yet you go to the Seaside, the core, after you've done them all, because the Seaside for the core has the same requirement of you have to have every single other heart. And I did it in about half an hour. It didn't take me anywhere near as long as the other two. Even though the core Seaside, like the Summit B-side, requires you to learn a whole new technique. The diagonal down boost jumps I've been telling you about. Where you hold down and the direction you want to go, and then you hit boost and jump at the same time. You just get a stupendously good long jump. That's really quick as well. But anyway, this level relies on the same gimmicks that you recognise from the A side, just obviously harder, like every other B side. So you'll be jumping between lava and ice gimmicks and trying to make the most of it. Some of them are a bit annoying, like this one, but all in all, most of them aren't too bad. You should be able to find your way through them without too much effort. But it'll also involve those these things, these bouncing circles, springers. Again, so have fun with that. You could probably vertically boost jump off that one to save time, but whatever. This one you have to boost early, because if you don't, you hit the spike at the top every time. You have to boost early, so as soon as you get boost like that, and then again. You have to also, you might notice I spent a little bit of time before I jumped. I didn't immediately move, because you have to position yourself in a way that you time these fireballs, that you're not hanging on the wall so long that you run out of energy, that you run out of stamina. Because otherwise you just won't be able to climb the final stretch. And as mentioned before, when you're in the fire mode, you cannot touch the springs. You can't touch the bouncers. They will just kill you. They spike over when during the lava mode. I guess that's what you'd call it, lava mode. And this is probably the one level where I won't really be shutting up for the music, because it's just atmospheric. It's not an actual real beat, it's just an atmospheric background piece, which works, it's just not that interesting to me personally. But then I say that, the core's theme as a whole was more atmospheric than anything, so it's not the best theme in the game anyway. This section's a little annoying. As you'll see, I noticed on my first attempt, I was like, oh wait, okay. You have to use the... oh, I don't know what you'd call them. The escalators, wall escalators, to get you through the first gap so you can boost the other two. If you boost through the first one, you won't have enough to get through the last one. And it's like some of them, like, I touched that spike. Come on, I did. Yeah. But there's some of them like that one where it's a lot tighter and it's a lot more annoying. Oh, is this the one I get on my first try? There's one of them that, I think it was this obstacle, it gave me a lot of issue on my first time. I managed to beat it on my first try, and yeah, I jumped for joy because I remember how much issue it gave me on my blind playthrough, and yeah, I did it on the first try. This one took on me a little while, as you can tell by the cut in music. A good idea for this one that you've seen me do is go back and destroy some of the ice, and then when you change it back to fire, they're not there because you've destroyed them, making it a safer path for you to travel through. But now we're at our first rest point. That's made by the little mountain symbol that tells you this is like a proper checkpoint. If once you beat the level, you can start from this point. And we've got the rising lava or rising ice chasing us again for the rest of the section. Which is probably this is probably the least you'll really notice the rising, because it's not like it's going to catch up to you. You're going to die to it by missing your jump. You're not going to die to it by it catching up, because you're moving so constantly vertical and so quick. The only time it might catch you is in this section, if you're taking your time to try and, well, time your way through. But to time this, just brace yourself with it. Just hold your breath and go for it. You'll make it through more often than not. Don't overthink it, sort of thing. Just go for it. This section I like, because you got a bit from level 1, a bit from level 2, a bit from level 3, the cloud from level 4, this from level 5, this from level 6, and then since level 7 is just a mech strip of everything else, you have that bit from level 8. So you have like a little piece of every single gimmick of all the levels just in one room. I thought that was a really neat little way to wrap things up for that section. It would have been cooler if it was the very last thing you did in this level, but I'm still happy with it nonetheless. This section here, once again, it's the rise and lowering depending on the thing, and as I said in the A side, it is an idea to deliberately wait it out sometimes to make it so you have more time when you flip the switch. Now, sometimes you don't get much time because you're going straight up like that, but you see that's how close it got, and so I have to wait until it goes back up. But if I let it get higher somehow, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as a threat. Also, you need to vertically boost jump that. And as you can see, it's very forgiving. I was right at the very end of the boost and it really shouldn't have counted, yet it gave it to me anyway. Which I'm grateful for. If you're going to have a mechanic that's required to beat the harder levels, making it that generous is kind of helpful. Like, it's generous enough that there's a chance you would have stumbled into it by accident before you get to here. Or before you get to the summit where it teaches you. And now we've got our last chunk, the record room. Or the cassette room. I don't know why I keep on going to say record. It's a fucking cassette tape. And once again, you have your boost back when you're in this section. And you have to be wary of spikes, because unlike the A side of it, this is actually a threat. But it's not too hard. Like, it'll take you a few. This is probably the hardest cassette, but it's still not hard in the grand scheme of it. The cassettes are always the braver at the end. And there we go, that's it. As we say goodbye to the B-sides. Next time we'll have our finale, but until then, you guys take care now.